We are live. Welcome to day 12 of the 12 Days of Christmas. The Phillips and
the Phillips space case.
I know, the space case. Thank you. And of course, this is our regular show this evening.
We're kind of like we're combining them with
What
Dave,
are you doing
who
with
isn't
your
there.
hands?
I don't know. I'm talking with my hands. Talkie hander.
Please. Good to be a hand talker.
What is
right.
this?
Please
What
stop
is this? What is this? What is this?
Stop it. Please stop it. What are you, Italian?
Hello. Okay, so welcome. And then Dave walked
Those
away.
dumpsters are hand talkers a lot because, you know.
Yeah, gotta do a lot of this there, Alan. Is that your new job?
Yeah.
So anyway, moving right on to the Dave returning. Dave's back. So Dave, we're going to start with you tonight because we know that you're going to be the odd man out here. What are you drinking this evening, sir?
I'm guessing that was me that you were talking
Yes.
to?
What are you drinking this
All right.
evening?
I got
You
wild
did.
tea.
If nothing, this is a very
Wild tea.
professional show.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, we have a special guest. Julian is here as well.
Oh, thank you
you.
so much for including toys on the Crafty 12th day.
Always.
All right, Dave, tell us what you got.
All right. So, yeah, wild tea.
Try not to hit it too hard, Dave.
Wild
So
tea
what? What is the? Oh, it's kombucha.
Yeah.
At least it's
Okay.
fermented.
Okay, so there is a craft element.
So, well, okay. So there is definitely a brewing element here.
Yeah.
The craftiness level, we could argue, I suppose. I know zilch about wild tea. I just happened to see it and I thought, you know what? I haven't tried this and whatever. Let's see what happens.
Oh, hang
here.
on. There we go. Go.
Excellent. All right. Made with fresh pressed juice. Whatever. This one bills itself as a wild ginger, apparently.
Promises.
Mine's
Yeah,
my first
right.
girlfriend.
Oh. Yeah, well, you could argue this is the right color. Let's
Auburn.
see.
We call it Auburn.
Auburn. Okay.
Chestnut hair, eyes of blue,
Moved on.
fabulous
Yeah,
firm personality.
The question everybody wants to know is the color of the liquid match the color of the can.
Nice.
The Drapes and Carpet Show. Ask Piper.
Swirl, don't shake.
It's only taken Dave 20 minutes to open this can.
Yeah, he still hasn't opened it.
Let's
Still
go.
hasn't drunk it. He
It's
hasn't had a
kombucha
beer
tea.
in 3 years.
Dave's become an old man.
Well, actually, I had one
That's true.
New Year's Eve.
Shut the fuck.
Nice.
He did, and he had one like a few weeks before that too.
Was it like Michelob Light or something?
No, it wasn't. It was actually something pretty decent.
It was all right.
I don't
But
remember
Alan,
what it was.
was it a 8.5% porter?
The one that he had a few weeks ago was actually that that cherry thing that we had from Driftwood. I can't remember what it was.
You're not talking about the creek, are you?
Yes, I am.
That stuff was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was like 9% or something like that.
Yeah. That was intense.
Felt a little twinge there.
But it was worth it.
There you go.
Okay, tell us about this kombucha tea.
While we're still young.
Two thumbs. It's I guess you could say, it's cloudy. This is like an unfiltered. You can't even tell. It's unfiltered. You can see floaties in there.
Thank God.
I find
Not
that
unusual.
common in kombucha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taste it.
While we're still young, please.
Or
Drink
it's
it.
good. Two thumbs.
Yes.
Tell us what it tastes like.
Swallow it, baby.
It's a little thin.
Okay.
It's a little thin,
Thank God.
but it's actually not bad. because Julian, yeah, you're right. Not always the tastiest stuff, but this stuff is actually not that bad. It's and it does taste.
But it's not amazing. It's not rocket
An-
sauce stuff.
Another ringing
It's
endorsement from Dave. Not
It's
that
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
You take this on a camping trip, it's over on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, and by the way, it's like $3.50 or something for like
For a 6-pack.
5. No, for this.
What?
Shit you not, boys.
I am
It's,
going to pay way too much for this crap and drink it, and I'll hate it because
Dave, thank you for supporting your local crystal hugging girls.
I don't even
wherever you live.
know where this comes from.
he's in.
Is
He's
it
in
local?
Victoria.
I don't even know.
Victoria, it's up island, I'm sure. Victoria up island. He must be on the Saanich Peninsula. It can't be actually in Victoria.
This is true. He's halfway there.
I know.
Yeah.
So okay,
It's not all drifting
well,
to the Tillicum Mall and farting against thunder. I get it.
Ah,
we're moving over to the East Coast. Locke, what are you drinking tonight?
I don't think Locke is anywhere near the East Coast. Just like to ask that question.
Sorry,
Well,
further east than we are now.
yeah,
It's
I
about
mean,
2,000 kilometers from the coast, but yes.
yeah. The nearest coast is a Great Lake, but so what I'm drinking this evening is a local brewery called Wellington. They're from Guelph, and I think I've mentioned before, are sort of arguably kind of the Canterbury of the area. They were doing
General Wellington.
they were doing sort of craftish beer before it became a thing, right? This is a weird concoction. They've done a couple of these really weird ones, and they all have sort of somewhat psychedelic, kaleidoscopic looking illustration art, and I don't know what this is supposed to represent. It looks ridiculous. But what this is called?
Stop
Duck
gaslighting the can and tell us how much booze is in it, please.
Kind of the amount of booze in the can is 6.9% per
All
volume.
right, that's borderline for a Locke level brew.
Yeah, it's not what I would call unusually strong, but it does the trick. Let's see.
All right,
It contains wheat, barley, and oats. We've got 44 international beer units.
Whoa, excuse me. 1 second. Sorry, Locke. Wait a second. Those
Go.
ingredients in that order: wheat, barley, and oats.
Sorry, barley, wheat, and oats.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
That's what John Cleese said. It's all very good to write a novel, but it's about the words. It's about getting them in the right order as well, right?
Yeah, there is that. Yeah. So dive nose first into this one-of-a-kind chai PA, combining chai spice aroma
Wait, what?
load on top of a creamy malt body with a splash of tart blackberry and a massive juicy citrus hop note. Catch this wave and let the fresh berry finish wash over you. Now, note
What is
that
a
we have-
chai PA?
That'd be fine if it was a girl, but as a beer, I'm out.
So notice the
What does that
ducks.
say? Duck dive?
Duck dive. Yeah. Do you see the ducks?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got
They're very far sightish.
It's
And-
obviously
and
designed
we've
by a
got-
quack.
weird disembodied hands that are hypnotizing you. And
Well, no, they got tea bags.
happy faces. Oh, maybe those are tea bags. So yeah, okay, that's what those would be. And then I guess those teapots are blue because they represent the blackberries. I don't
Hey,
know.
hasn't
Anyway,
drunk any yet.
He has been actually.
Okay, good. What's
Show us the jar.
it's all pretty bonkers, the art. But so anyway, and let's see. There's the glass.
an
And
imitation crystal?
hazy. Actually,
So the question is, do
it's
you
got
like it?
articulate in such a way that it looks a little bit like Dave's chai, or not Dave's chai, Dave's kombucha.
Hopefully not as funky.
Well, it's a bit funky.
So, judging from what you read, Locke, I'm gonna guess this tastes pretty fruity. And I know that you do not really enjoy the sweet fruitiness flavor of a beer. So how do you like this one?
You know what? What really comes through is the tea. This tastes
Really?
a lot like tea, and I,
Well,
for
that's
some reason, kind of like the astringency of the tea next to the hops.
So it's tannic.
Yeah, tannic is a
Not to
good
put
word
words
for
in your mouth. Sorry, but it's very good.
it, so to speak.
Thank you.
Now,
Shane, hit him.
yeah, the last one of these sort of series of beers that I had on the show, it was one of those hot pepper beers.
Oh yeah,
It was habanero, something ketchup and wallaby
sauce.
dung, or I don't know. It was just a
Fish balls.
completely toxic, unpalatable,
Offensive.
undrinkable thing. This, on the
Offensive.
other hand, I like this. I could drink this. I'm drinking this and liking it at the same time.
6-pack or just one?
Oh, 4. This
Four.
time.
Oh, the
But that-
4-pack of tall cans, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And how much did it cost in the
Oh,
on the
$12.
east coast of Lake Ontario?
$14, something like that. I don't know.
$14.
Yeah,
Oh my God, Justin's raking it in. Maybe it's Doug Ford.
it's
provincial.
Doug Ford is who it is.
Yeah.
Not that it's probably even. Well, yeah, no, it'd be Doug Ford. Yeah, because that's Ontario
provincial.
taxes.
And it's not his fault. He was the guy that was angling for $1 a beer. Or was that his brother?
No, he was angling for $1, or maybe it was his brother. I can't remember. But the whole $1 a beer thing was idiotic, because all I did was statutorily allow $1 a beer. Didn't mean any brewery with half a fucking brain cell would go around selling beer for $1 where they can sell it for $2.50. So there you are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exactly what Dave's plan was for BC, but I'm glad he didn't get elected.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Dave, I didn't vote for you.
He's like kombucha for all.
Exactly. So Alan and I have the same beer this evening. This is day 12, the final beer
Very, very nice.
of
Very
the
nice.
Phillips Brewing and Malting Co.'s
Ooh,
12 Days of Christmas, the Space Case Judgment Belgian
Oh my
Golden
God.
Strong Ale.
God,
Extra
I love the
strong
art.
beer.
This is going to taste like shit.
Rocking in at a wonderfully high
Lock level of
10.5%.
Nice.
We've got the ingredients are water, barley, dextrose, hops, and yeast.
Dexter.
And the flavor notes are regal, effervescent, pear, and strong. This judgment card is calling you to rise up and embrace a higher level of consciousness. You are experiencing a spiritual awakening and realizing that you are destined for so much more. This is your cosmic leveling up. Tune in to a higher frequency. Let go and step into this newest version of who you really are.
Yes!
These feelings may also be
Thank you,
associated
Tony
with
Robbins.
10.5%.
Well, you know what, Shane? You just sounded like Vince McMahon from WWF in the 80s. All the superstars of wrestling.
Wrestling, where we will watch a bunch of scantily clad men beat each
All right.
other to death in a fake way. So this beer, all right. Oh my. Oh
Yeah.
my.
It's all very sort of homoerotic, but never mind that.
Here it is.
Typical Belgian shit. Oh my God, that's so sour. Let's just, honestly,
I
really,
I can't really think of anybody who would enjoy this sort of Radler-esque kind of beer. I mean, Radlers are really meant for
Adler.
small blonde men.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
So hold on. Are you saying that 10% Belgian strong ale tastes like a Radler?
No.
10.5. I can't
No.
believe that.
You know
I can't
what?
believe
No.
It does not.
He hasn't given me any yet.
Well, empty your damn glass already.
No, thank you.
I'm enjoying this.
All right, here I'm going in.
You go
And,
in.
I just want
But
to
no
say,
matter what
in
you
advance
say,
of this,
no matter what
Sorry,
you
Alan.
say, You're not going to sway my opinion. This is a good beer.
All right. Now, Alan, I know that you like the dark side. I can't blame you for that. I'm just saying. I'm going in here. I'm not going to break up with Fat Tug over this, but here I go.
Well, it's not a competition to Fat Tug.
I tell you one thing. It's big. It's big in the mouth.
It is
Like
very
I felt a twinge there.
You like that?
Like, seriously, it's got that horrible sour Belgian taste, which is celebrated by some. But one thing's for certain: you can't call this thin.
No.
This is a fat bitch.
So basically, it's quite yummy.
That's a big beer. It's like a barley wine almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost more like a wheat wine.
Peanut gallery.
What's in it? What is it made out of? Ingredient,
You know what, though?
please.
Water,
some ways-
barley, dextrose, hops, and yeast.
Water,
In
barley.
some ways, I'm willing to ignore
dextrose.
that Belgian taste. What do you call that Belgian taste? What's that? It's a known.
Yeah, I
celebrated.
don't know. I don't know what you would call it, but I know what you're talking about.
Right, and that's classic. I mean, that is classic. I feel like I'm up in the belfry with the evil wind blowing through, infecting my beer every time I drink this, in Brussels or some other place where the EU has effect. But never mind that. The point is, this is classic Belgian. Oh, you know what it's like? It's like Triple or Duvel.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the
Now,
Phillips version. How much did this cost, Shane?
This came in the space case. So the what did we break it down to? It was like $50.
The space case came down to like $50, and there was 12 beers in it.
Mhm.
A little bit much, but actually, the beers in this case have been pretty superior. Like way superior to anything that we got out of the advent calendars from Parallel 49.
This is the dumping ground for all the brewmasters' mistakes for
Yeah.
the previous 12 months.
And you know what? What was surprising is the beers in this case. Like day 2 was a Pilsner. It was called an Italian Pilsner. I don't like Pilsners. I
don't like Italians.
I loved that beer. Like seriously, it was the most easy drinking thing ever. It didn't even taste like a Pilsner.
So if I was buying, you'd drink it all night?
Oh yeah.
That's a true Pilsner lover right there. Didn't even
Hey, Locke, what's the temperature outside there now?
We thought earlier today, but I think we're back below zero. I think it's probably -1, -2, something like that.
Oh, yeah, so that horrible sort of semi-sleet freezing level.
Yeah, you've about got the picture.
Yeah, so you're just getting up in the morning and then wrapping yourself up in scarves and stuff, getting a coffee and going down to Lakeshore Boulevard and staring out across the expanse of Lake Ontario and knowing that your life is full and complete.
Rosedale is currently -4.
Switch out.
Do you live in Rosedale, Locke?
Yeah, I live in Rosedale. Switch out Lake Ontario for the field where they played the first Grey Cup.
No.
Yes, the greatness of Central Canada.
And it's currently -2 in Vancouver and snowing again.
Big snowstorm coming tonight, if you care about the weather.
It's 1 degrees right now here in Victoria. We were getting dumped on. We had, I would say, about 2
How
to
many
3.
degrees is 1?
That is 1 degree.
Thank you.
Above zero. And the snow is turning to rain now. There's a high pressure system coming in from the north.
Thank you, meteorologist Alan. I do have a question for you, boys. Have you noticed people? We're of a certain age. I know you're all much younger and better looking than me, but generally speaking, what's with the trend I've noticed lately about millennials saying -3 instead of -3? What's going on with that?
I'm sure it's a pronoun thing. I don't know. What I am excited about is that the most egregious poster child for all of what drives us mad about millennials just got thrown in jail.
What?
Who's that?
What?
Jail.
Yeah, no, not that part.
Elizabeth Holmes is going to jail for fraud.
Who?
She was found to have defrauded her investor. I mean, it had to be one of a couple.
Sorry,
of
wait, back up. I totally missed what you're talking about.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Who's that?
Fair enough.
Oh, the
Sherlock Holmes' wife.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes' wife. No, they had the blood machine thing.
Oh, the Theranos thing.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So she's actually going
Which,
to the jail.
which sounds like a Marvel bad guy.
Sorry, what?
It sounds like a Marvel bad guy.
It does. Theranos does sound like a Marvel bad guy. Yes.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
I'm sorry, I haven't read the story, so I have to ask the question.
Would have. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I haven't followed the story, so I have to ask the question. Was this a situation where the CEO of a company got castigated in like the Huawei thing, or did she actually personally do something wrong?
Oh, she did something wrong. She tried to show that it was her CEO that did something wrong, and then this is the best part, because if you're, a 30-year-old, blonde, bubbly-looking millennial,
Big tits and a good personality.
arrogant, like the queen of the millennials.
Sorry, I came back after hearing that, and I'm like, "What are we talking about?"
Yeah. That pious. The world is all stupid. They just needed to be helped by the light of the millennials who know everything. And obviously my technology is superior and it's obvious because all these other people are just fools and they're all stupid. But no, it turns out that she was making it up all along. She was pretending that companies like Pfizer were on board before they were on board. Speaking of board, her CEO, she accused him, because this is what you would do if you were a millennial and you were in trouble. You would accuse somebody else of it being their fault because they sexually assaulted you, right? Or harassed, or something.
So this was a great girl who had a tit job and makeup and good hair, and it was all fake.
With Theranos, yes, that's about the size of it. Shane, do you have a picture of Elizabeth Holmes? Can you put that on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Let me dig
Naked.
out some here. I don't.
I don't think that exists.
What? It must. I know
It
she did
must
porn
somewhere.
before she was a CEO.
Oh, really?
Sorry, wait, what?
This is making stuff up.
So these days,
You got a better chance of finding naked pictures of Martin Shkreli.
Nice drop, by the way. Yeah. She's Martin Shkreli-ish. She's like
Elizabeth
the female
Holmes
Martin
Theranos.
Shkreli.
Did she marry a Greek millionaire?
To my knowledge,
I don't
no.
think so.
I might have missed that point. I don't think she did.
That's what I want to know. Actually, I think the carpet might match the drapes.
Jesus Christ. All right, so there you go. So she is found guilty.
4 counts of
Four counts of
fraud.
fraud. Interesting. So,
Locke.
how much time is she going to serve?
Do you believe she did it, Locke?
Yeah, very much so.
Was it Mr. Green in the living room with the candlestick?
Here's the thing. There are really only a couple of possibilities. Either she was really stupid, or she was really dishonest, or both. And so where the court landed was it's either the second or third option.
I think that she's probably just really
Lonely and needs us.
He's the crafty
what
boy's
she
comforter.
needed was
Get her on the
millions of
show.
investment
We should
money.
get her on the show. Like, when was the last time you had a great guest on the show? Come on, except for me, of course. But look, come on.
You're the height of our.
Well, we had
I'm
Greta.
just saying, like, I'm
We
the
had
ugliest
Greta.
guest you've ever had.
Do I think in comparison to sort of a Bernie Madoff, how guilty was she? Probably not that guilty. But do I feel personally like she deserved it more? Yes. Why? Because she was such a bitch about it. You know,
Right.
like
She was
that
not complacent.
snotty,
I mean,
I know
that's right.
everything fucking attitude. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, so nice to see her taking a dive.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to see her bent over and submissive. So I want to ask you another question, boys, without leaving the subject. My reference about Mr. Green doing it in the living room with a candlestick. Do any of you get that?
Clue.
Or are you too
Mhm.
young?
No,
Alan
I
says
get it.
yes, he knows, he remembers. Yeah, cool.
I would have
I just
preferred.
wondered
that
how
you
old I
said-
am.
I
How old am
prefer-
I?
You should have said Colonel Mustard.
You
Thank
don't.
you.
You
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think
We
kids
always
still
say
play
you
it's
get it.
always Colonel Mustard. Come on.
You don't think kids still play Clue? They do.
I don't know. That was a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I have nieces and nephews. Clue is still very current.
No, I never had a clue. I was just I did
guess
not know the
so.
answer before I asked the question.
I remember getting Clue in the mid '80s as a Christmas gift,
Hmm.
and
My
we
kids,
played it
my kids
immediately,
played Clue.
and I never played it again.
Why? A game of murder is too much for you?
Apparently,
You felt a little.
I was triggered.
Do you guys remember that game?
Oh,
With, like the it was kind of like Clue, but it had like an electronic thing, and you like stop a burglar or something, or
Stop Thief.
yeah. I never played it. I
Stop
never
Thief
played
was
it,
great.
but I wanted it so bad.
What's Alan? Please adjust your camera. The top of your head is cut off.
Yeah, that's by design. Then nobody knows. Nobody knows I'm bald. Then, for all they know, I got a full head of hair.
Yeah, Stop Thief was that game
And
where.
by the way,
Oh,
there are no tinfoil hats in evidence tonight. What about? Aren't any of you anti-vaxxers? Aren't any of you concerned about being forced to receive this third dose right in the ass? Come on, like what's going on?
What is the deal with anti-vaxxers? I don't understand what they could possibly imagine.
There's no worry about it. It's like
Isn't it reasonable to protest the
nano
government
probes
forcing you to take it
activated.
right in the ass? Come
Kill
on,
all
Mark.
humans.
Like
kill all
you'd have
humans.
to have really grown up big time on comic books to believe that much in nanobots controlling you by, but the ridiculous part about it is if you look at the people who are getting the vaccine and the people who aren't getting the vaccine, well, who's getting the vaccines? Oh, I know, the wealthy, the first world, right? Politicians before the rest of us.
This is not a
Who's
poor
not getting the
rich
vaccine?
scenario.
Oh, I know, the poor. And that's right, the anti-vaxxers. So if there's a conspiracy, what are you telling me? That it's a conspiracy of poor people to bring the anti-vaxxers down with them? What?
No, this goes way back. Jenny Garth back in Beverly Hills 90210 is an anti-vaxxer, and she's not poor. And the other celebrity anti-vaxxers aren't poor.
Yeah,
They're
but
doing it to help us
that's my
understand
but that's
there's
my
a government
point. That's my
conspiracy
point.
to force us to take vaccines.
Who else could be as far out of the loop regarding the Illuminati, plot that we're all in on?
Wait,
Who could
I
be so
just
far
want
out
to
of the loop
call.
that they're even in a worse position than the fucking poor? Oh, I know, it'd be the anti-vaxxers.
I just want to call out some. So you said it was Jenny Garth, isn't it? Jenny McCarthy.
That's what I said.
no, you said
Jenny
Jenny Garth.
I'm just checking.
Garth.
I apologize
So-
for everything.
so
I'm
actually,
glad to know
Locke-
you were watching Beverly Hills 90210 back in the day, Alan.
Locke, I also would like to know
She was
if-
so hot.
if anyone in the Hellfire Club would have been anti-vaxxers.
Well, I don't think there were any vaccines back then. Actually, the woman who first
No.
reported
Back then.
inoculation.
Pretend that
woman
there were
who-
vaccines. Would they be vaxing or would they be anti?
How far back are we going here?
Okay. What you need to understand is that in the 18th century, there were no vaccines. What
Yeah,
happened?
we know that.
What did happen at the beginning of the 18th century is that Lady Mary Wortley Montagu traveled to Turkey with her husband as a diplomat. There, she encountered the practice of inoculation, which she imported to Britain, which was the first time they'd ever heard of it.
For the Queen.
But that was the discovery that led to vaccinations. So far from being anti-vaxxers, they would have been vaxxers.
See, there we go.
Oh, Jenny McGarthy, what?
I
is
fixed my
or-
camera for you.
Yes, you did. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
I think we can all breathe a little easier now.
Isn't that from Tool Time? Doesn't the Tool Time guy do that with the world instead of the shed?
Yeah, the next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Alan, I think you've got a fine head of
Skin.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Let's call it a fine head of Atlas.
So
Look,
you're saying
it
you've
fits nicely between Europe and North America, right there.
What are you
It's
trying
like
to say?
it's like a parking spot.
Are you trying to say that Alan's got skin in the game? He's back in low def.
so Dave, how can you save the show this evening?
Well, you can start drinking
Alex-
beer, for Christ's sake.
Alan is
What's
creating
this,
a
once month
bridge
thing?
between the peoples.
Dave, will
That's
you
what's
be
going
drinking
on.
any light beer in 2022?
Yes.
Thank God there is a God. All right, then.
There we go.
God bless your liver, which is already obviously the size of a pretzel.
Gallons of Grolsch, actually.
Roll to the Dutch.
Yeah.
You know, I used
Well,
to
that's
buy
me.
I used to buy Grolsch all the time, but it was only so I could have the bottles for homebrew.
You weren't the only one. You weren't
No.
seriously. You weren't the only one. In those days, bottles were much more difficult to acquire.
Oh yeah.
Since the invention of one thing, the PET bottle. The PET bottle, boys, is one of the most important inventions since the dawn of time. Can you imagine a PET bottle could be so important as a container?
I hated PET bottles.
But
What the
they
hell is
are
that?
they're indispensable today.
Oh,
to-
I
to
know,
the
I
homebrew.
know, and they're so functional for
Yes.
homebrewing. But
Yes.
I just love the presentation of it in a glass bottle
Right,
with a
but-
flip top.
Yes,
Oh,
but the thing about the thing is that a PET bottle is not a dispensing vessel. I mean, a PET bottle is a secondary fermentation vessel. The
Yes.
Grolsch bottle remains an excellent vessel in my view for dispensing beer. But you would decant into it. You know, the problem with in the old days, we couldn't get PET bottles, so we fermented our homebrew in Grolsch bottles, and there was this much sediment in the bottom of the green bottle, and no one wanted to pour it out of that. Nowadays, you don't do it that way. Nowadays, we use PET bottles for secondary fermenters, and then you decant into whatever kind of bottle you want, and that way we get crystal clear, beautiful beer that is actually it defies. It's too much. I can't talk about it. Sorry. It's so good.
Do you need to be alone?
No, it needs to be. It needs
So
to be with all of
dramatic.
you men, and
Holy cow.
without your wives.
Are you gonna
You're
go
not.
write in your diary now about it?
The PET bottle. I would like to say this: the PET bottle is one of the most important container inventions of all time. Up there with the sea can. Up there with Tupperware.
These just look like.
What's he
Huh.
doing?
Suddenly, Locke is gone on a vision quest.
Yeah, no. I'm checking out what PET bottles are, and they look like normal bottles.
They are. It's just a plastic bottle they use for homebrew. Usually they're coming green or brown.
Yeah.
The green ones are easier to get. What's nice about them is they don't explode. Like a glass bottle with a cap on it could possibly explode.
Yeah, gotcha.
when-
I understand that. Yeah.
I've only ever lost one or two when I made my first batch of cider ever. Woke up at like 3 a.m. when I heard something go pop as the steam split in the bottle. And
Was
Yeah, it
that
was
glass or the PET bottle, Shane?
That's a PET bottle.
that was the pep bottle.
I have heard
really?
of people who, like Shane, confused the metric system with the imperial measurement system and used a cup of sugar instead of a gram of sugar. I get that, And so, however, in the old days, when one made that mistake in a glass bottle, you created a projectile which is capable of taking out half of your family and possibly a couple of pets as well. With a pet bottle, if you make that mistake, it'll
Oh,
make
I see. That's what they call them,
bang,
pet
and
bottles, is
you can
because
drive
they don't
into the
kill your
drywall,
pets.
but you won't die.
True.
Probably.
Well, okay,
Like
so
COVID.
that is true. But with
Omicron.
the
It's
Grosh
Omicron
bottles,
of
Brewing.
fermented
but with the
malts.
Grosh bottles with the flip top, they don't explode either
Yeah, and the
Oh,
reason,
yes, they
the
do.
reason- because there's a
because
lot.
there's a
The
natural
top will
release.
pop off. Yeah, the wire will
of-
give way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, first.
Hey,
Yeah.
Alan, didn't you have an explosion when were doing some brewing?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
There was a small explosion between the legs there.
I had my primary in a carboy, and I had the what was it, the airlock on it, and I guess the activity was a little bit too much. It was more than I thought it was going to be, and
First
I
girlfriend was like
remember
that.
I remember being asleep and being woken up to this bang. And I went downstairs and there's all this grousing all over the basement. And I had to go find my airlock wherever it was. It was somewhere in the basement.
Hey, Dave, how come you haven't been doing any home brewing lately?
I got rid of my equipment.
You could. What about your brewing stuff?
My first girlfriend said that about her dildo. Got rid of all my equipment. Don't do it anymore. It happens. Life cycle of life. Like honestly.
Cycle of batteries.
Yeah. But now rechargeable batteries have made things a lot better, right?
I think it's fair to say that the holidays are now over, so I'm going to now change the background. Boom! There we go, boys.
Give us the stars.
Or maybe there we go.
It's still black.
We're transforming.
Background. This is the background of the thing.
Nice.
Is this gold?
That is beer.
This is gold. Are we going to talk about precious metals and what our positions are in the precious metals market for 2022?
God, I hope not.
What is your position in gold?
I
Where do you
think
think it will be?
Cole's going to make a comeback.
Coal is going to make a comeback.
Coal.
Yeah, not a big one, not a complete one, but I think everybody's come around to the realization that moving to electric vehicles just means now we need to burn more coal.
Yeah. Well, what I think is what people in Quebec have come around to realize that when propane runs out, we're fucked. So let's contact our friends in Alberta immediately.
No. Quebec would never do that. That's unethical. They would go to Nigeria or somewhere safe like that.
No. They were willing to accept the rail cars full of propane, and why wouldn't you? They can't cook tortilla without propane.
Good point.
And I love tortilla so much.
Why actually? I've
Not anymore.
Go write about in your diary.
Dear diary. Yes. There were days when Crafty Boys made their own beer.
And now they've moved on to tortilla.
Now they buy.
What's
tall
going on
cans.
here tonight?
I don't know.
It's
10.5%.
maybe a full moon. Is it a full moon tonight?
I think we've gone off the rails.
Don't you think we should do reviews on Crafty Boys like the Dash Mini Pie Maker? Seriously, we've got to do reviews. Everybody does.
Pie making?
We got to review things like reviews of the Dash Mini Pie Maker.
Okay.
What is one of those?
A Dash Mini Pie Maker?
Before we review it, we'll have to identify things.
Yes.
I don't know what one is.
Okay, so you boys are probably too young to remember Cabbage Patch.
No, I totally remember Cabbage Patch Kids.
I don't think we're.
And I remember Garbage Pail Kids that were the comedic response to Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yes.
Well, things go viral. Right? I mean, things go viral. Things become popular.
What, like COVID?
And COVID is one of those things that's gone viral and become popular.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. But since Shane had to go, and I don't know, whatever, right? So I would like to, before we move on to other things, I was suggesting it's not my show, just saying that you guys don't review gadgets that much, and
Ever.
that I think that could be a different chapter. Maybe that's Crafty Boys.
I
a different show.
disagree. I think I review
Before we
gadgets.
move on, could we please talk about
changes? It's
this is not kombucha. This is not Belgian sour stuff. This is cutting edge beer, not a new beer. Not a new beer. It's a beer that is now 2019, possibly, maybe even right.
2018,
Yeah, Superflux color and shape.
I think we've done it.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. But at our age, we need to do things regularly, otherwise we forget.
Mhm.
And this handmade beer in the bowels of East Van caused me one sec. A moment there.
Here comes another
I gave
diary
up-
entry.
I love this,
so much
okay?
it doesn't feel in any
I
way.
gave
No.
up Fat Tug. I gave up Fat Tug.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I'm
Your
really,
diary.
really happy with color and shape. The only problem with this shit is it's $5 a can.
Yeah.
More if you buy it at a reseller, Jack's or liquor store, or like a private liquor store. It's more than $5 for each can.
Right.
That's like for I'm obviously retired on a fixed income.
Somebody fixed your income?
He's a
This-
retired man.
Legally?
This stuff here, listen.
Oh, that
This
stuff is awesome.
This stuff is
Now, I will say this: it
we're
is
not
not
fucking
the
around
best.
here, kids. This
It
is
is
serious.
not the best Superflux beer that I've ever had. But
What
I
would you
mean,
say your favorite Superflex?
No.
I'm ready.
It
Okay, I'm
it
ready.
is not. But I mean, I've never had a bad Superflux beer.
Boys, there are two things that I want in a woman. One is shape, and the other one is not color. What? What? I'll never make it on the CBC. More Piper. Oh God, I love this stuff.
It is really
That's,
good.
Yeah, 7%, 6.9, and the quality of the hops. These are the hopping schedule. What this guy makes these things by himself, pretty much. I know they've got a new place in Vancouver that is more production oriented, but the problem was that you have to be a dedicated, almost a chef as a brewmaster to make this stuff, because the cost of the hops and the day long hopping schedule where you're adding.
What you're saying is that to do it at a scale up, it would defeat the economics of it?
Not completely right about the economics, but also about it doesn't work unless you have an automated.
Care and attention isn't there for the product.
This is the sort of thing that, in my view, that you just get locally, and just it is what it is. In my view, I just think it's like going to a local restaurant and getting something that doesn't really scale up quite well. Maybe I'm a little bit overstating it. I think there are some people who drink Michelob Light who might not agree, but they can all fuck off.
All right. Well, so
Not that there's anything wrong with Michelob Light. Some of my best Republicans have stormed the Capitol on that beer.
yeah. Beer in some ways is sort of like coffee for me. Like even shitty coffee in its way is sort of great. You know what I mean?
Port in a storm, you're saying?
It's not exactly that. It's that you got to have it on the right occasion. A shitty, bad tasting cup of coffee on a cold winter's day in a foreign city. Fuck that. Somehow that's you're living doing that.
When you're in the Czech Republic with a fat, hairy old girl, you're happy.
You gotta have some poetry.
Dave's out. Dave's gone.
He's gone for a bio break. He's out for a bio break.
What are you looking at, Alan?
I'm looking at my phone. I'm trying to figure out what Superflux beer was that I really, really liked was called.
The one I really like is called Rad Seeker, but
that's quite right. That's not a Superflux beer. Rad Seeker was absolutely excellent, fantastic stuff.
Oh, was that pre-Superflux?
Not pre. It's a different brewery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I love Rad Seeker. I mean,
Because I evidently got confused because I thought Superflux. Okay.
And by the way, Shane, would you be kind enough to explain what a Rad Seeker is?
It's a guy shopping for car parts.
No, it's a type of nuclear isotope detection device from the 1980s. That's why it's called Rad Seeker. Rad meaning radiation. Yeah, and so
I had no clue.
And it was one of those beers. It was brewed by. I'm sorry about this. I have a very small brain. I should know the name of the brewery, but anyway, it was brewed by what's called these days, and still is, I think, a gypsy brewer. A gypsy brewer is a brewery.
Yes, exactly. That was, was not
Boombox. Thank you very much.
Boombox.
Rad Seeker.
Okay. Yeah.
Listen, I'm sorry. It was a formative relationship that I had late at night with Boombox Rad Seeker, and we talked about many things.
Yes, we did.
Many things. And it was not just Boba Fett.
Which, okay, let's move on to the Book of Boba Fett. What do we think about that?
I thought
have no idea. I haven't seen it.
I did see it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a little bit. I don't want to give away spoilers or anything.
I don't know if it was quite up to the caliber of The Mandalorian in terms of giving us giving the generation that grew up with Star Wars a Star Wars that they can live with. You know what I mean? Because I've got to say, the last features were sort of a bit. It was all a bit reprisey. You know what I mean?
I thought the way that Boba Fett was portrayed in it as being a person of honor was not in keeping.
Yeah, I agree with
what we knew about the character.
Yeah, that was disappointing, I thought. Another thing I thought was a little disappointing was the fact that in the second episode, and on the one hand it's irritating, but on the other hand, it does remind me of the clunkiness of the original 1970s Star Wars. You've got a bunch of scenes about one thing, and then a time flashback, and I kept expecting all of that fucking around in the desert to amount to a lesson that helps him solve the problem that he's having in the time future or whatever, assuming that's what I was looking at. But we never got there. We went off in a different tangent, and then the episode ended.
Well, the only thing that the big thing I liked about the episode today was the fact that they had they took some time to do some world building as to who these raiders are, because traditionally they are just these rogue type characters that run around the desert killing whatever they see. And then we find out that there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
My God.
Julian is like riveted.
Did they ask the big questions? Where we come from? Where are we going? What does it all
did.
mean?
Yeah, exactly. They did.
Guys,
they did. Yeah.
I have not seen the second episode. So
and there were some naked chicks dancing on stage.
Thank God. Were there any white plastic guys all piled up and dead?
Yep.
Thank God.
Of course. What? Plastic.
There was Ewoks playing drums with them.
Yeah, there were drums.
Who was the
Ewoks.
love interest in Boba Fett? Who is the
The love interest is a droid called B69.
so a black lesbian? That would be correct, understandably. Who needs to be paid money for past wrongdoings by the government?
Yes, by the Empire.
Shane.
Does that occur in Star
Shane,
Wars? Are they considering payments to wrongly abused aliens of
Shane, I think you need to consider.
eons gone by?
I think you need to consider getting your pet a leash.
Allison, suffering abuse online. I'm applying for compensation from Alan.
And maybe a muzzle.
Okay, Alan's kicking me off the show.
Apparently,
That's it. Watch this. See this?
So
on that note, boys, Dave is now running the show.
okay, I will
And,
bring you
just so you know-
dictatorship.
And Philip soft. So on that note, I think it's time to go to bed because I'm tired.
Greta
And
approves.
but we'll see you next week for our regular return to our weekly show, and we'll probably be wearing clothes.
I love you, Julian.
As always, Alan. Please, I approve. Okay,